Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed. Have you ever thought about the unsung heroes of music gear?
Mhm.
Not the flashy guitars or the roaring amps, but those compact, kind of unassuming pieces of tech that quietly shaped entire genres, maybe the sounds you love. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one such silent force, the Line 6 Echo Park. This compact delay pedal, it packed an absolutely astonishing punch for its size and, well, it definitely left a mark on the guitar effects landscape. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore its maybe surprising origins, dissect its truly revolutionary features, understand its lasting impact, and ultimately figure out why it became such a cult favorite among musicians, holding its own even against much bigger units.
And this isn't just a story about a pedal. It's really a fascinating case study. It shows how innovation, smart design choices, and like a real understanding of what musicians actually need, how all that can come together. The Echo Park really highlights how tech can sort of democratize studio quality effects.
Yeah.
It made these sophisticated sounds and advanced features accessible right at the feet of everyday guitarists, not just folks with massive budgets or complex studio setups.
Okay, right, let's unpack this then. Trace its lineage. The Line 6 Echo Park, it made its debut mid-2000s, part of Line 6's Tone Core series.
That's right, mid-2000s.
And Line 6, I mean, they weren't new to shaking things up. Lots of listeners will remember their groundbreaking modeling tech, like the POD devices.
Oh yeah, the POD was huge.
But for our discussion today, the really crucial predecessor was their iconic DL4 delay modeler that came out way back in 1999. And that pedal, well, it had already set a new standard for digital delay.
Exactly. And the Echo Park wasn't just another pedal they threw out there. It was a very deliberate, very strategic move. Line 6 saw how incredibly popular the DL4 was.
Oh.
But they also recognized its bigger footprint, the higher price point.
Yeah.
So the Echo Park was specifically engineered to kind of distill many of the DL4's most loved delay models, boiling them down into a much smaller, much more pedal board-friendly enclosure. The goal was crystal clear.
Yeah.
Offer guitarists genuinely studio-quality digital delays, but, and this is key, with that nuanced, almost analog-style tweakability.
Right, that hands-on control.
Yeah, exactly. That level of sonic sculpting which was often missing in compact pedals back then.
And when we talk about its features for a compact pedal at that time, wow, they were genuinely cutting edge. We're not just talking basic echo here. This tiny box delivered like a whole range of classic delay types, intricate modulation, that crucial tap tempo, which, as you said, total game changer for live players.
Awesome.
And even stereo input and output. I mean, think about that for a second. All of that packed into such a small footprint in the mid-2000s. Expert, beyond just the engineering feat of, squishing it all in. What specific creative doors did features like tap tempo or stereo I/O really open for musicians, especially those who maybe relied on bulkier or frankly less capable setups before?
Well, that's a great question because it really wasn't just about making it smaller. It was about empowerment, right? Before the Echo Park, if you wanted tap tempo, you usually needed like a dedicated external switch, maybe a bigger multi-effect unit.
Yeah.
Having it built right in meant a guitarist could instantly match the delay time to the song's tempo on the fly without missing a beat. It just freed up mental space, allowed for much more dynamic, rhythmically tight performances. And stereo I/O and a compact pedal. That was massive.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you weren't just adding delay to a mono signal. You could create these huge immersive soundscapes that really filled a room or sat beautifully in a mix. It gave this sense of width and depth that previously was kind of reserved for fancy studio setups or those big rack units. It was about giving guitarists pro-level tools, simply and effectively.
Okay, so here's where the heart of the Echo Park truly shines, right? At its core were these three distinct delay engines, lifted straight from its legendary big brother, the DL4. And these weren't just simple echoes, they were detailed emulations, each designed to give you a unique sonic personality. First up, you had the analog delay. This wasn't just warm, it delivered those really rich, dark, decaying repeats, beautifully mimicking those classic analog Bucket Brigade delays. And for those less familiar, Bucket Brigade, it's that specific analog tech, right?
Yeah, it literally passed the audio signal down a line of capacitors, kind of like passing water buckets. That's what gives it that distinct, natural, slightly degrading warmth you just can't quite get with pristine digital.
Right, that perfect imperfection. Then there was the tape delay. This one aimed to capture the soul of those vintage tape echo units, like the Echoplex, the Roland Space Echo.
Classics.
Exactly. It wasn't about clean repeats. It meticulously emulated those unique sonic quirks that give tape echo its character. That subtle wow, the slow pitch wobble, the flutter, those faster, choppier pitch changes, and even that gentle saturation, that warm kind of organic overdrive you got from pushing the tape. These flaws were exactly what people love.
Yeah, the character.
And finally, the digital delay. Totally different beast. Clean, precise, high-fidelity repeats. Perfect for those crystal clear echoes where you wanted every repeat perfectly defined.
What's really fascinating here, and I think often kind of underestimated, is how Line 6 actually managed to capture the essence of these three really distinct historical delay types, each with its own quirks, its own appeal, all within a single compact digital box. It wasn't just a feature list. It was like a whole sonic palette in one pedal. You weren't just getting one type of delay. You could instantly jump between that warm, decaying analog vibe, the rich, modulated, slightly unpredictable charm of tape, and the pristine clarity of digital. For a working musician, I mean, that meant unprecedented versatility without swapping pedals or lugging a huge multi-effects unit.
Yeah, you could cover a lot of ground.
Totally. It allowed for really rapid sonic exploration, adaptation, even within a single song or set list.
And beyond those core delay engines, the Echo Park offered some really clever operational modes. You had normal mode, straightforward delay, no thus, just solid echo. Then tap mode, which, yeah, we've said it, critical for live playing. Use the foot switch, set your delay time on the fly, sync up instantly. Perfect. But then there was swell mode. This was something genuinely special. It gave you these gorgeous, volume-swelled ambient repeats that could build into almost reverb-like washes of sound, created these evolving, really ethereal soundscapes.
That swell mode was genuinely innovative for its time, especially in a compact pedal. Before that, getting those kinds of, evolving atmospheric textures, it often meant complex setups, maybe a volume pedal before your delay, or specific higher-end ambient processors. The Echo Park just put that capability right at your foot. It allowed these lush soundscapes to become just an integrated part of your performance. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really democratized those ambient textures. It laid some serious groundwork for the later widespread adoption of ambient and shoegaze sounds. It just opened up a whole new avenue for sonic exploration for so many players.
Right. And sculpting these sounds, the controls were super intuitive. You had your mix knob, the crucial wet-dry balance, how much effect versus your clean guitar signal.
Standard, but essential.
Yep. The repeat knob handled feedback how many echoes you get before they fade out. Time knob obviously set the delay length, either manually or with that tap tempo. And then a really nice addition, modulation. That added a kind of chorus-like movement to the repeats, giving them this rich, evolving texture instead of just being static copies.
Adds that shimmer.
But for many, I think one of the most powerful, maybe indispensable features was the subdivision switch. This wasn't just about setting a general delay time. It gave you incredibly precise rhythmic options. Quarter notes, dotted eighth notes, and triplets. Like if you wanted those classic U2-style rhythmic delays that lock in perfectly, that dotted eighth setting was absolutely essential, wasn't it?
Oh, the subdivisions were in many ways a total game changer.
Yeah.
Historically, trying to get complex, rhythmically precise delay patterns live without external sync, it was a nightmare. Guitarists would either guess, which often sounded messy, or use complicated preset units. The Echo Park subdivisions meant you could tap in your tempo, then instantly pick the exact rhythmic division you needed, locked right into the groove.
That simple switch.
Yeah. That capability just massively broadened the expressive potential of delay pedals. It let guitarists get way more sophisticated with their rhythmic phrasing without needing, a math degree on stage. It really elevated delay beyond just simple echo.
And for those smooth transitions between sounds, the Echo Park thoughtfully included that trails on-off option, so your delay repeats could naturally fade out even after you hit bypass. No abrupt cutoff. Expert, how much difference did that make? For live stuff, overall musicality. Seems small, but feels significant.
Oh, it's a huge detail, especially live. Nothing breaks the flow or sounds more, amateurish than a delay suddenly cutting off mid-repeat, right?
Right, jar.
Exactly. The trails feature just ensured that when you switch the effect off, the sound decayed organically, like you'd let the repeats fade naturally. Crucial for maintaining a pro sound, especially in ambient or worship music where smooth transitions are everything. It just shows an understanding of how musicians actually use these things in the real world. And as for connectivity, straightforward, effective, stereo in-out for those wide immersive delays we talked about. And like you said, that super convenient integrated tap tempo foot switch right there on the pedal. No need for an extra accessory.
So the Echo Park was produced roughly from, what, 2004, well into the 2010s, as part of that Line 6 Tone Core series.
That's the time frame, yeah.
Now, the Tone Core series itself was kind of unique, wasn't it? That modular design where you could actually swap different effect modules into the same chassis. What was the practical benefit of that for musicians?
Absolutely. The tone core modularity was a really smart approach. Great for versatility without needing a massive pedal collection. Imagine you buy one sturdy chassis, the base unit, and then just swap out different effect modules. Maybe one day you want a phaser, the next a flanger, or maybe a different kind of delay module even. It meant you could radically change your sound without buying whole new pedals or rewiring your entire board.
Ah, clever. Cost effective too, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. A clever, cost-effective way to get diverse sounds while keeping a compact setup. Big user benefit back then. Its eventual discontinuation, though, sometime in the 2010s, that really signaled Line 6's strategic shift. They were moving focus to newer, more comprehensive platforms.
Right, like the M series multi-effects.
Exactly. The M series, this super powerful Helix platform, and eventually, the modern DL4 MKII, which raises a key question for our deep dive, I think. Why did the Echo Park, this relatively small single-function pedal, stay so beloved, so sought after, even after it was discontinued, and in an era of, rapidly advancing, much more complex tech?
That is a fantastic question. I've got a few theories. Maybe it's simplicity compared to the new stuff, or maybe just sheer durability, but what's your take? Was it more about its unique blend of features or the specific gap it filled?
I think it was kind of a perfect storm of those things, but primarily, it filled a very specific, enduring need. For a lot of players, it was the ideal compromise. It offered those classic, really desirable DL4-style sounds, but crucially, without the bigger size or, let's be honest, the perceived fragility some players associated with the original DL4.
Like the stompability factor.
Exactly. It was robust, compact, and most importantly, it sounded fantastic. It just became the sweet spot for so many players who maybe didn't need the massive looping capabilities or the million effects of the big DL4, but still wanted those specific high-quality delay engines, the tap tempo, the subdivisions, all in a straightforward, reliable package. That combination tone, size, features made it indispensable for a lot of people.
And its appeal was really broad, wasn't it? Attracted some really notable users across totally different genres, became a go-to for indie and shoegaze players
Oh yeah, big time.
who just craved its modulated, tape-like delays in that compact format. Perfect for building those rich textural soundscapes that define their music. Then worship and ambient musicians absolutely adored it too. They particularly valued the subdivisions and those seamless trails features totally key for their expansive, evolving live performances.
Couldn't do without them, really.
And of course, it was consistently picked by guitarists who just loved the DL4 but wanted something smaller and more rugged for touring, or maybe just a cleaner pedal board.
And those diverse user groups. They perfectly underscore the pedal's remarkable versatility. It shows how thoughtfully its specific features resonated with really distinct musical needs across totally different genres. It really illustrates how innovative design, when it's done with precision and, empathy for the user, can create a tool that genuinely enhances creative expression for a huge spectrum of artists, from stadium rock to introspective ambient stuff.
Looking at its broader cultural impact, its legacy, the Echo Park truly stands as Line 6's most advanced compact delay before they brought out the much larger M series and Helix processors. In many ways, it feels like it acted as this crucial bridge, right? Taking the pioneering spirit of the DL4 and shrinking its core strengths down for a new generation focused on pedal boards.
Absolutely. And its influence definitely extended way beyond its own production run. Its inclusion of features like those precise subdivisions and the seamless trails, for instance. They became so popular, so essential to musicians, that they heavily influenced countless later delay pedals across the whole industry. These features, which were once cutting edge for a compact unit, sort of started to become standard.
Expected baseline, yeah.
Pretty much. The Echo Park, in essence, helped establish a new benchmark for what modern delay units should offer: rhythmic precision, sonic variety, seamless operation. It really raised the bar for everyone.
So even though it's not in production anymore, the Line 6 Echo Park continues to be widely praised today for its incredible range of delay types, analog, tape, digital, its indispensable tap tempo, and just its overall versatility, all packed into that single, unassuming stomp box. A real testament to thoughtful, player-focused design. And that pretty much wraps up our deep dive into the Line 6 Echo Park. This little delay powerhouse, it truly took many of the beloved sounds and frankly groundbreaking features of the bigger DL4 and condensed them into this smaller, incredibly accessible package with its range of models, those crucial subdivisions, seamless trails, handy stereo I/O. It wasn't just another pedal, it was a kind of a foundational piece that redefined what a compact delay could even be.
Yeah, well said. And while it's gone now, production-wise, its design and the features it pioneered really did help pave the way for Line 6's future innovations. You can see its DNA in the M series, in Helix, even on the modern DO4 MKII. It's a foundational piece of their legacy, definitely a quiet giant.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating history and the lasting impact of the Line 6 Echo Park. It's been a real pleasure exploring it with you.
Likewise. And maybe as you reflect on this, consider how often the most impactful innovations aren't necessarily the biggest or the loudest or the most expensive bits of gear. Sometimes it's the ones that just ingeniously adapt advanced tech into a more accessible, more practical format. They keep shaping sound and inspiring musicians for years, long after their initial run. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.